What is going on, Nuggets Nation NBA fans? My name is Tom Leuthner. Welcome back to Nuggets Today, presented by Fan Arts. Now, I know the service is not good right now. The quality doesn't look great on my end. Excuse me, on my end. But I do want to get you guys some episodes out, like I always do. So I'm trying my best here. And the first thing I want to cover is Ryan Blackburn from Pickaxe and Roll had made his tier list for starting fives in the NBA, and I want to go over that quick because we're going to start from the bad and work our way up to the best. And obviously, the worst of the worst are the Brooklyn Nets and Utah Jazz, which I understand, I sort of get without Cam Thomas right now. The Nets are not very good. I mean, I think that they're okay, but they're nothing special or nothing to gloat about. The bad starting lineups are the Suns, the Trailblazers, the Hornets, the Bulls, and the Wizards. I guess I do agree when it comes to the tiers, but I do think I don't know. I have a feeling the Suns are going to be better than what people think they're going to be. I think Malawach is a good pickup. I think Mark Williams was a good pickup for them. I don't know. I think that they're going to be okay. I don't think they're going to be obviously as good. Maybe they won't be a playoff team. Maybe they'll be a play-in team, but I wouldn't necessarily say they're bad at this moment, but they're not great. Then by his tier list, average to subpar is the Bucks, the Kings, the Heat, the Pacers, the Pelicans, the Toronto Raptors, and the Celtics. Now I know I was fast reading that list, but it's funny because I would move the Suns up, and I would probably take a team like the Pacers maybe down. I know that, obviously you lose Halliburton, McConnell's there, Nembhard's there, Nesmith, Siakam. You lose Turner too, though, so I don't know. I personally think the Suns may be above there. I do agree with maybe the Bucks. I think the Bucks might be a little bit better than people think also, especially being in the Eastern Conference. The Pelicans could be okay. The Raptors, I think, could be good. I don't think the Celtics are going to do anything realistically. I think that their team is average right now, so maybe move them down a tier, but I wouldn't say they're necessarily bad. Now, the can make the playoffs is the Grizzlies, the Hawks, the Sixers, the Pistons, the Warriors, the Spurs, and the Mavericks. Now, I know the Pistons lost Timmy, and I know they lost Malik Beasley, but I still think that they might. I don't know if they're in the next tier, but I think that they're a good team. The Warriors are good. Spurs are good. The Mavericks without Kyrie is tough, but when they have Kyrie, I think that they're going to be a dominant team, depending on how he comes back and plays. Now, the elite tier is the Magic, Timberwolves, Rockets, Clippers, Lakers. And the championship caliber starting fives are the Nuggets, the Cavs, the Knicks, the Thunder. Personally, I would put the Houston Rockets right up in the championship caliber lineup, and I might even put the Clippers up there. I think that they're both going to be great teams. I think the Clippers were a very good team last year. I'm not saying Beal is going to take them to this next level because Norman Powell's gone, but I know it's just starting fives, but I know that their bench is good. And the Rockets, I mean, how can you not think that they're going to be a top team, especially in the West? I think bearing injury, they're probably a top three team in the Western Conference. I've continued to say that, and I will continue to go on about how good I think the Rockets will be this next year. Now, something I want to talk about when it comes to stats and the Nuggets and how good they are and how good they have been is obviously Nikola Jokic, somebody that we all know is dominant. And it gets a little boring to continue hearing these stats, but once you see them, you sort of just, you become mind blown about how good this guy really is and how the numbers that he puts up. And you continue to see these stats of him just changing the game of basketball and being that dominant of a player. Now, this is the most efficient high-volume rim scorers in the NBA playoffs since 1997. Now, obviously, when it comes to rim field goal percentage, you have Shaq at number 1, 72.8%. Al Horford at number 2 with 72.6%. Giannis at number 3 with 71.9%. LeBron at number 4 at 71.2%. Andre Iguodala and Nikola Jokic are tied for 5 at 71.1%. And now this is since 1997. What blows me away with this stat is I know Al Horford shoots threes. I know LeBron shoots threes. But Jokic, not that he doesn't play inside, and that's something I'm going to get to in a minute here, but Jokic also plays every level of when it comes to scoring. He's playing at every level. He's also passing the ball. He's dishing it. He's a point center. So to see this kind of stat and then realize how good he has been under the rim as well is truly amazing. The next thing about him playing under the rim is another stat, and this is the full NBA. Now, This stat is a chart basically talking about the field goal percentage and field goals attempted of shots between 5 to 10 feet in the 2020s. And now what I want to talk about in this is the main point that everybody says with, obviously the foul baiting in the NBA. Now, people hated Trae Young for it. People hated Shea for it, but they love Brunson for it, so I don't understand. The main argument is always Nikola Jokic should not shoot free throws because he doesn't attack the paint as much, which is hysterical to me because if you watch any Nuggets game, sure, he takes 5 threes a game, but you're telling me a guy like Jalen Brunson who's taking 25 shots and 15 of them are threes, obviously I'm exaggerating, is taking more free throws than Nikola Jokic, or Shea who's just taking mid-range shots and getting fouled at the mid-range. So it's hysterical because everybody says that Jokic doesn't attack the rim. This stat fully proves everybody wrong, in my opinion. Now, this stat, like I said, shots between 5 to 10 feet in the 2020s, so since 2020, Nikola Jokic is leading the pack in field goal percentage and field goals attempted. Now, he has surpassed 1,250 shots from 5 to 10 feet in the 2020s. And he is shooting around 60%, maybe a little bit lower, maybe a little bit higher. Obviously, it's a chart, so you can't tell exactly. The closest person in attempts is Luka with just over 1,000, and his field goal percent is 10% lower, maybe a little bit more actually, right under the 50% mark. Then you look at the other guys who are close to that. Nikola Vucevic, Bam Adebayo, Pascal Siakam, 3 guys who have shot under 1,000 attempts throughout that time, none of which are close to Jokic when it comes to their stat percentages. So for anybody to say, next time anybody ever says to you, if you're a Nuggets fan, that Jokic doesn't get to the free throw line because he doesn't attack the rim as much, just tell them this stat, show them this episode, let them know that from 2020 on, he has the most field goal attempts and the highest field goal percentage from shots between 5 to 10 feet outside the rim, which means he shoots the ball closer to the rim than anybody else in the entire 2020s. So that's just a quick stat for Jokic, another stat that blew my mind. And again, I think it proves how good he really is as a player. Now, this last thing I want to talk about is some former Nugget update news, and that is Russ Westbrook. Now, Russ is obviously, he has gained the attention of the Sacramento Kings, and it seems that all the signs point to him being signed to the Kings. But there are so many reports and so many reporters talking about Russell Westbrook and what they think are going to happen, or what they think is going to happen in the beginning of the year, and that is that Russell Westbrook isn't going to start the season on an NBA team, which is sort of sad. This is a guy who had the energy and intensity so high for Denver throughout this this most recent playoff run, that you were, again, like I said, the one thing that Russ dunking, getting the technical for Denver and sending the fans home is something that Denver always needed, that kind of, energy, that kind of intensity off the bench. And for him to not start on a roster is sort of wild to me. Now, he's not a guy who's going to get $10, $15 million. He's not a guy in the Kuminga or the Giddey conversation where he's still waiting on a contract that's $20 million plus. He's a guy who's just going to be a vet who brings you intensity. Maybe he's not what he once was. Obviously, he's not what he once was. But this is still a guy who wants to win. He proved that every single game for Denver. This is a guy who was playing through, and maybe this is the biggest effect for him not starting on a roster potentially, but he played through a broken hand in the playoffs for Denver and still pushed Game 7 with the best team in the NBA. So it's sad to hear that Russ isn't going to start on an NBA roster, or potentially it won't start on an NBA roster. But that is all I got for you guys. Like I said, I'm going to continue to try to get some episodes out for you guys, so stay tuned. If I have another episode out, I will see you guys tomorrow. If not, I will see you guys in a few days. Thank you guys for checking it out. Hit that like and subscribe button. I'll catch you guys soon.